It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Thompson Sales, Kitchenland USA, and Smouse Foundation Repair and Waterproofing. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads. Hello, it is Grace and Joy Robertson this morning. Not Ethan and Sarah. They are still gone for just a couple more days. They will be back, I promise. But today I have the pleasure of the lovely Joy Robertson helping me out early this Thursday morning. Thank you, Joy, for joining me.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. President Trump has approved Missouri's request for a major disaster declaration after Memorial Day weekend storms hit 5 southwest Missouri counties hard. The particular ones, the 5 that have declared this are Dade, Douglas, Ozark, Vernon, and Webster counties, all impacted by these straight-line winds, hail, flooding, and heavy rain from May 23rd through the 26th. The federal aid means that local governments and nonprofits in those counties can now get FEMA assistance to help with repairs and emergency costs. Governor Mike Kehoe says that damages total from the storm, they're estimated to be more than $13.5 million. This marks Missouri's 5th major disaster declaration in 2025. Just that is so much money in damages. So I know that was a while back now. It's been a couple months, but better late than never to get help to fix your buildings and all that stuff that's happened. So
what a scary thing to be a part of. I mean, it's
yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I have one for you regarding Nixa police. Nixa police are investigating reports of someone going door to door claiming to inspect electrical meters, possibly pretending to be a city employee. Okay. Pretending to be. Yeah. The person reportedly made at least one resident feel very uncomfortable, may have been trying to sell some solar services. Okay, so watch out for that. Yeah. Police say this kind of solicitation happens year-round, but what is troubling is the claim of them being with Nixa police or Nixa utilities. The police want to remind residents, city workers will always arrive in marked vehicles and they will carry visible ID. They usually contact you by mail or phone ahead of time. They very rarely show up unannounced. They will never ask you about your schedule or how long you will be home. That's a huge red flag.
For sure.
Solicitors in Nixa are required to have a permit and wear visible identification. If somebody shows up at your door and something feels off or not right, call the Nixa Police Department to report it.
Yeah. So, and that reminds me of
careful.
Yeah, that reminds me earlier this week, Blasky and I were talking just about scams in general being on the rise. So not even like this particular one happened in Nixa, but I think just all over, just across the board, a lot of people are being weird trying to take things from people. So just be on the lookout wherever you are. And if it's weird, say something.
Yes, and I think so much of it, and I'm not an expert here, but I think if they show up and ask you, you need to stop and go, wait, I would have asked, I would have been the one to ask. Right?
Yeah, why are you asking me questions that I should be asking you? Yeah. That's a red flag for sure.
Yeah, the fact that you came to me asking about my roof or my electric, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I should be the one asking you. So
for sure.
Yeah, pay attention.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to be weird about it.
Yeah.
All right. The Community Partnership of the Ozarks wants to hear from you as it builds its next 5-year plan to tackle homelessness and housing insecurity across Greene, Christian, and Webster counties. A while back, a few weeks ago, Sarah was talking about Kearney Street. They're wanting to revitalize Kearney Street. So that's what this reminds me of. I remember that in that meeting, a lot of people brought up when you want to revitalize Kearney Street, that is a big issue that needs to be handled because there is a lot of that population in that area. So that was just a big red flag that was raised at the city meeting. So now Community Partnership has launched a community survey open through July 31st, asking for input on housing, healthcare, mental health, jobs, transportation, and more. Whether you've experienced homelessness or not, your perspective matters in this. So CPO says that real input from everyday residents will help shape real solutions. So if you've got ideas, now is the time to give them. You can take the survey to help shape the 2026 through 2030 strategic plan. And the link for that survey can be found on the Community Partnership of the Ozarks Facebook page.
And people think their voice doesn't matter. It matters.
It does matter, for sure. There have been so many things recently where people have shown up at community meetings that I've just been reading about, that it does make a huge difference, for sure.
Usually. Well, if you don't go and you don't have your point of view thrown in there, well, it may never be heard. So go do that. Okay, so after months of construction, raise your hand if you love Dillard's. After months of construction, Dillard's is almost ready to open a brand new luxury store at the Battlefield Mall, taking over the former Sears space on the west wing. Remember Sears? Huge space over there. Okay, 180,000 square feet of store is going to merge the two Dillards. Yeah, because there was one over here and there was one over there. They're going to all be one in the Sears space. The new concept stores, you see this in a lot of bigger cities like Las Vegas, wherever, and now it's coming to Springfield. We also call it Spring Vegas.
Yeah, so it fits. It fits.
Yeah. Okay, so Dillard's team says the store was rebuilt from the ground up, and it's packed with high-end features, fresh designs, and premium brands that they are sure will appeal to Springfield shoppers. And I have a friend that works there, and she's actually, she's with the corporate office. She says, you're going to be so impressed with this new store. You're going to be impressed with what we carry and how we've decorated it and how it looks. And I'm super excited to see it. Yeah. Now, okay, so here's your timeline. Put this in your calendar. If you want to check it out, if you want to check it out early, tickets for premiere night are available at Dillard's, Battlefield Mall Customer Service, and Ronald McDonald House of the Ozarks. But follow them on Facebook, check it out, and I think this weekend you're going to be able to go and see a beautiful Dillard's store that will blow your mind, which is visible from Battlefield Road and all the way around to the other side. Yeah. Because that Sears store is a huge footprint.
It is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that preview night, I think it's actually tomorrow. And I think all of the proceeds are going to go to the Ronald McDonald House. So that's going to be really cool too. Yeah. So if you want to go get a sneak peek and also help out the Ronald McDonald House, that's perfect. So
perfect. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah. Big things. Yeah. Love it.
For sure. Speaking of really cool things, the Missouri State University students have just helped uncover a huge piece of Springfield history. I just thought this was so cool. During a 3-week archaeological field school, MSU undergrads and researchers found the foundation of one of Springfield's earliest homes, the William Townsend House, dating back to the 1830s, which is nearly 200 years ago. That's wild. The discovery was made at the Dar Agricultural Center in an area near Nathaniel Green Park, which I didn't realize where the Agricultural Center was, but I know where Nathaniel Green is. So that clicked for me. It's just this is so cool to me. Yeah. The find included remnants like floor sweeping, ceramics, nails, and a whole bunch of things that hinted at how the family lived nearly 200 years ago. The Mackenzie Townsend site had previously revealed Civil War era buttons and 19th century pottery, but this is the first time that they actually found the house itself. Digging is on pause for right now, and the team plans to return, and they might even search for a nearby lost cemetery. That is going to be cool to find too if they find it. There are also plans for future public exhibits so that the community can learn more about this historic site. So I think that's really cool. They found all this stuff.
I think it's amazing. And I when they find buttons, I think that's interesting because textiles and buttons can really date the place where they find them. And I know nothing about that other than what I've heard and learned through history. But I just think when they say they find buttons, that tells them.
You can literally have all this stuff and you can tell by the button, like, oh, this is from this time. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. I've got an oldie but goodie for you. Ebbets Field. Everybody remembers Ebbets
Yes.
Field on Walnut Street. Okay. Ebbets Field Sports Bar and Patio making a comeback. Super
Woo!
excited about this. Yeah. So after closing in 2024, January 2024, the beloved Walnut Street Hangout will open it's set to open anyway, in early spring of 2026 under brand new ownership. Sydney and Jared Davis bought the place on July 11th. Sydney is a Springfield native who once worked at Ebbets Field during college, and I love this. She had her eye on it while she was working there.
Yeah.
And here we are,
Mm-hmm.
coming true. The couple plans to bring back the nostalgic charm, which tells me they're not going to change it up. And
Yeah.
forgive me, they're not going to mess it up, but they're not going to change it to the point where it's not unrecognizable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Breathe new life into the bar that first opened on Cherry Street in 1981 before moving to its longtime spot on Walnut Street in 1994. And it lived a beautiful life there until 2024. Okay, so we do not have an exact reopening date yet, but you can bet Springfield, me included, will be counting down until we go back to Ebbets Field on Walnut, which is just a beautiful little spot in Center City.
It is. Yeah.
There's some beautiful, juicy burgers, and let's not forget about that.
Yes. I think you probably hear the story a lot. I feel like it's fairly common for people who have worked at a specific restaurant, if something were to happen, usually there are a lot of employees that end up buying the restaurants and reopening them. I feel like that's a common theme I've heard here in the Ozarks of because I know I think Jim's Steakhouse has a similar story. It was a steak and ale, and Jim bought it. Like he had worked there.
Yeah,
so,
Jim worked
that
there
seems
for a long time, and he ended up buying it, and it is what
now
it is.
it is.
It's just it's amazing. So,
so I think that's pretty cool. All right, I've been talking about it all week. The Ozark Empire Fair officially starts today and goes through August 2nd. I'm so excited for the fair, guys. I love the fair, and it's the 89th annual. There's going to be funnel cakes there. That's really what I go for, to be honest. With your admission, there are things like pig races, which is give me a funnel cake and a pig race. I think that's what I'm there for.
Oh yeah.
And then there's going to be a Lego zone. I think my boys are going to love that. There's going to be over 65 vendor booths inside of the E-Plex with air conditioning. That's going to be the big selling point there. Lots of new food. There's going to be a fireworks show, actually 2 of them, one planned for the 25th, which is tomorrow, and then August 1st, and then a drone light show on the 30th. So super cool. I don't know if you've been to a drone light show before. I've been to one. They're really stinking cool. So
amazing.
And I think, so that's going to be cool if you can go to that day. And if you want to win some tickets, we are giving away a 4-pack of tickets with Around the Ozarks. So if you want to enter that contest, just go to our website, aroundtheozarks.com.
Okay, so fun fact before we go. Savor the Ozarks this week is Pineapple Whip.
Ooh.
Which started at the Ozark Empire Fair. I'm going to leave it right there.
That's all the teaser we get. That's all the teaser we get. That's going to be such a good episode. So yes, that drops tomorrow. So make sure that you listen to Savor the Ozarks with Joy Robertson. And thank you for joining me, Joy. Again, it is so appreciated. I'm so glad that you aren't mad at me for waking you up this early. And that you still like me, even though I wake you up early. So
I love you. I'm good. I got you. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. So yes. Everyone have a happy Thursday. It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, brought to you by Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Conditions across the Ozarks this morning, once again, are warm. We're in the mid-70s to start, and it's another day with another heat advisory. Heat index values anywhere from 100 to 105, again, this afternoon. So We will get into the hot and sweaty details here. Temperatures are going to be warming up to the mid 90s today. Once again, I think we have a high temperature right around 95. A heat advisory is in effect. That's through 7 p.m. this evening. So it's really difficult to find really any relief. Get out early in the morning, late in the evening. But even then, we have high temperatures, feels like numbers well into the 90s even this evening. So it is going to be another hot one across the region today. And that's why those heat headlines are in place. There is a cold front sitting up to our north. Now, it's not going to bring us cooler weather, but what is going to happen is there will be this boundary where showers and thunderstorms will be able to develop later tonight. I really think most of this is going to fall north of the Springfield area and northern portions of the Ozarks. Primarily, this is going to be for northern Missouri back toward Kansas City, back into southeast Kansas. But a few of our northwestern counties could see some rainfall. If you do, it could come with some heavy downpours as well as some gusty winds. So I do want you to be on alert for some flash flooding as we head into this evening with that potential for rain moving back into the forecast. Hot and above average temperatures, though, will be taking the headlines for the remainder of us here in the Ozarks. And really, that's going to hold true for the rest of this work week's forecast, all the way into the weekend, and probably all the way to the end of the month. It is looking really toasty. So even though we have a heat advisory set to expire at 7 p.m. tonight, it's very possible that the National Weather Service decides to reissue some of these heat headlines in the forecast as we head into the weekend with this sustained hot weather that is impacting our area. We are going to see these very warm low temperatures also remain. That means overnight lows never cool off too much, and that can lead to this increased risk of heat stroke, heat exhaustion, things like that. So be very cautious in the coming days as well. We have some rain chances in the forecast tonight, primarily for our northwestern counties. I told you that. And where those arrive, there could be some gusty winds as well as some super heavy downpours. So today we're going to be talking about a feels like temperature, once again, around 105 degrees. Not much change in that forecast. In fact, we may notice temperatures come up slightly again for the weekend. Low temperatures remaining in the mid and upper 70s for overnight numbers. And then each day we will be seeing opportunities for chances of showers and thunderstorms, but they're remaining very low, like 10% chance for a pop-up shower or storm. It's most likely you're going to be dry here for the remainder of this 7-day forecast. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, it's heat from the central Gulf Coast to the lower lakes. We also have heavy rains, flash flooding, and that severe weather chance that I mentioned for the central plains into the upper Mississippi Valley and the Great Lakes today. That's all along that frontal boundary that I mentioned is draped across the northern portion of Missouri. Out west, we have tranquil weather. However, fire weather is now developing for portions of Northern California into the Great Basin. That is due to lightning storms. So we'll think about our friends out west and hope that the lightning stays at bay. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. Here it is. In 2007, a woman in Florida called 911 3 times because her local McDonald's ran out of which menu item? Do you think, what's the emergency here? Do you think it's A, chicken nuggets, B, a Big Mac, C, French fries, or D, a McFlurry? Well, believe it or not, this was a chicken nugget emergency, apparently. I'm not sure if she was fined, but the woman was reprimanded by local authorities saying, ma'am, an establishment running out of chicken nuggets does not actually qualify as a reason to call 911. But, you know, we've seen it before. Here's another one for you. In 2019, a man in Germany was fined for smuggling what unusual item into the country by hiding it in his pants? Do you think it's A, a live lobster, B, a python, C, a wheel of cheese, or D, a miniature pig? People, that's all I have to say after these couple of questions that we've had for a few days. Which one do you think a man in Germany was found smuggling into the country. You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks so much for listening this morning. I hope everybody stays cool today. Take breaks in the air conditioning and get plenty of water. Thanks to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, and Taylor Grubob Chevrolet. Have a great one. We'll chat again tomorrow.